I love that Legolas and Gimli are pretty much celebrities when they enter Minas Tirith, because the people of Gondor have never seen an elf and a dwarf in the city, let alone two who are homies and best friends. And they see Legolas, and he's singing elvish songs, he's more fair than any other man of the city, and they're just like taken aback by the whole thing. But Legolas and Gimli start talking to each other, and they start referring to Aragorn and how he's going to come to his own and become king, because they know he's going to become king. That's their homeboy right there. And Gimli's like, yo, the stone of this city is good. Some of it isn't that great, and the roads need work. I'll bring a group of dwarves from the mountains and we'll make this city look hella fly. And Legolas is like, yeah, dude, this place could use some more gardens. I'll bring some elves from Mirkwood and we'll bring birds that always sing and trees that never die and we'll make it beautiful. And they're doing this all for their homie Aragorn. But as they're talking about this, they start talking about the fate of men. And Gimli says something along the lines of that, like, there's a frost in their spring, a blight in their summer, and they fall through with all their promises. Only for Legolas to be like, yeah, but when their seed is planted, they grow through anything, through ruin or spring or anything, because men will outlast you and I, referring to the dwarves and the elves, because the fourth age and so forth become the age of men, and dwarves and elves dwindle, and some foresight from Legolas. But after this, they run into the Swan Knight himself, the Prince of Dol Amroth, Imrahil, and they start talking. And Legolas is like, yo, you got Elvish in you, dude. And Imrahil's like, yeah, bro, you're totally right. That's what they say where I'm from, that like we have elves in our descendants. And he's like, yo, I knew the elves in Nimrodel didn't just disappear. And next thing you know, Imrahil's like servant takes them over to the House of Healing. And one thing that's awesome about the Fellowship is that they're bound by love. Whenever they see each other, they're getting down. They're laughing, telling stories, all sorts of stuff. And Legolas and Gimli see Merry and Pippin again, and they start telling them the story about the paths of the dead, and they go out and they look over the city, only for Legolas to see gulls and be like, oh shit, the sea.